What is up, boys? We back again with another one. Another one. Where's my slinky? You already know this is my signature slinky, Anyways, before we even start the video today, we're gonna talk about the that special video that I've been promising. It's on the way. It's in the works. I didn't forget anything. I've been actually working on it super hard these last few days, and I don't know. There's still a lot more to do. So let's just see how it goes. And yeah, you know, today we're going to be talking about like distancing yourself from negativity and how to like make the best use of a moment of silence or like a pause in your life where you're kind of by yourself and you kind of have the opportunity to do whatever you want. Like if you just moved out and you're by yourself, or if your parents are no longer there, like, or you're just by yourself and you're able to like fully control your whole situation. There's nobody else to influence you or anything, and you make your own decisions. When you reach that type of space, there comes a point where you want to like kind of separate yourself from certain people, not everybody. You don't want to isolate yourself. Isolation is different from separation, right? Isolation is at times dangerous because it cuts you off from the outside world, but you do want to separate yourself from negativity, a lot of bad people, and potentially misfortune for yourself in like the later stages of life, or not even a later stage of life, like 5 years from now. So one of the most key concepts that you have to understand, and I preach this through almost every one of my videos, is that the things you do today may not have an effect now. Maybe they don't even have an effect tomorrow, but they cause like a butterfly or a domino effect a year later, 5 years later, right? People don't just wake up and just have cancer out of nowhere for no reason, lung cancer that doesn't come from nothing, like comes from smoking. Yes, some diseases, some things are hereditary, but most things are preventable, right? The number one way to mitigate risk is to prevent it from happening from the get-go, from the offset, right? So a lot of these things that I'm going to be talking about is going to be prevention, right? Once prevention is there, like it's hard as hell to break through, or to like even like the risk just goes down drastically once you are able to prevent it from happening, right? After prevention, then is like mitigation and loss and damage control and all that bullshit. I don't want to talk about that. But needless to say, the things you do today is going to be whether your future self, the you of 5 days from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, whether you make that future self happy or not, right? So every action that you do really impacts the you that wakes up tomorrow feeling good, wakes up tomorrow feeling angry, wakes up tomorrow feeling however you feel. That's because of the actions that you did before, right? You're able to control your life from henceforward. You're always able to control your life, but you're able to control your life from now going forward, right? All you have to do is just set things in place and kind of make it, you almost want to make your life game like, in a way that certain things, you don't just reward yourself with certain things just because, right? There should be certain you should have your own like achievement system. You should have your own things set up and set in place so that when you do things, you are rewarded with certain things, right? I know it sounds simple. It almost sounds like, like you're a lab monkey or whatever, right? But you really have to treat your brain like that, because that's how our brains are wired, right? um you want to build yourself a routine, and you want to do things routinely. You want to do things not sporadically, not randomly, not because you woke up and feel like it, but you want to do it routinely, because routine builds habits, and habits, basically are the foundations of your life. Like, you grew up probably learning that you brush your teeth when you wake up, you wash your face, you get dressed, and you get out and go, right? Now it's like almost impossible for you to live your life where you don't get up, brush your teeth, get yourself dressed and get ready, right? What if nobody told you that? What if you were like Pharaoh, like, and you grew up just waking up and going do whatever the fuck you wanted, right? There's drastic differences in the things and the habits that we create for each other and for ourselves, sorry. And there's a lot of nuance in like building habits, right? There's a lot of things that are tacit that are unsaid when you're trying to develop a habit. People say it takes 30 days, 60 days to make a habit, 30 days to break one. Doesn't matter, right? What really matters is that you know the reason why you're making a habit and you know what you're trying to not really achieve, because making a habit isn't about achieving something. It's about setting something straight in the proper direction or in the way you would like it to be going forward. If the doctor says smoking is going to kill you, then you got to get out of the habit of smoking. Otherwise, it's going to kill you, right? If you wake up to brush your teeth in the morning, it's because you like to have fresh breath, not necessarily because you don't want people to say, oh, your breath smells bad, right? So you could look at it from two perspectives. Oh, you don't want people to say you have bad breath. Well, that's not a good reason to form a habit. You want to form a habit because it's beneficial to you, right? Having fresh breath feels nice, is good, promotes good hygiene, good health, good gum health, and all of that stuff, right? So you have to think of the reasons why you form the habits that you do, right? Because if you form your habit just simply out of the want to satisfy or please someone, then chances are you're not really forming a habit. You're just, I don't know how to explain it. You're just really just executing actions day in and day out, but you're not forming something that's going to last, because the only way to build a stable habit or to build something stable is that you have to yourself believe in it, and you have to yourself have a solid reason for why you want to be like this. Why do you want to set your life like this? This is why it's important to have like role models and stuff, right? Role models are people who you can model your life off of so you can build proper habits, like following, modeling your role model so you can eventually, like be like them or feel like you're like them or live like them, you know? It's really important, right? Uh, to switch from the habit side, right? Things that you want to build habits around are your energy, your wealth, your body, your money. Well, I already said wealth. Well, there's different forms of wealth, obviously, and your mental health, right? So some great examples of some good habits are, for mental health, you don't really have conversations with certain types of people, right? Because they kind of just make your brain hurt. Like, I don't really have conversations with people that make my brain hurt. I just ignore them, right? And that's a habit, you know? Like, I habitually just ignore idiots. Like, it's just that's just how it is, you know? If I'm playing a video game, if I'm on the bus, someone says something stupid to me, I just ignore them, right? It's a habit that I've developed. I could respond to them, I just don't want to, right? Wealth wise, like you want to automate your money and make your money work for you before you even get paid. So you want to build that habit so that your money's already working for you the minute you get paid, right? Body wise, you want to tell yourself, okay, when I go grocery shopping, I want to eat a certain type of way and I want to focus on a certain type of food. I can't remember the last time I had fast food like McDonald's or anything like that. I do have fast food, don't get me wrong. I have fast food that I think are of a better quality than certain types of food. There are places that I like to eat, there's places that I don't like to eat. I like to eat out. So if I'm not eating out, I'm eating at home and I'm cooking my own food. I like to know what the ingredients are. I like to know like where it came from. I like to know the soil it came from. I like to know who grows it, right? So you have to really take a passion and a liking to your own habits. That way you can not make better habits, but that way you can fortify your habits and have more willpower when you go to execute your habits on a daily basis, right? So if you want to work on your body, then maybe you should really ask yourself, do I really want to go to the gym, or do I want to find something that do I want to find a sport that I enjoy playing? Right? If you're trying to focus mostly on building your body, then yeah, you should go to the gym, because how else? There are a few sports build that build specific parts of your body. Most sports will almost always build your legs, because you need your legs to move, to do anything in life, right? Most sports, not all the time. Like obviously table tennis, like like ping pong, like some sports use it less than others, but most sports, for example, you use your legs, right? But if you want to build your body specifically for whatever purpose, like again, this is why a lot of people fall out of their habits of going to the gym or whatever. Like yeah, you want to build your body, you want to have a nice body, but why? Because you want to attract girls, because you want to look attractive. That's not really like a strong backbone or a strong reason to have a habit. So it's not surprising that people lose that habit. It's not surprising that people forget or fall out of it or can't keep on track or fall off the wagon, right? Saying to yourself, it would be more practical to say to yourself that you want to find a sport that you love doing, that you enjoy playing, right? Finding a sport that you enjoy playing will build a good habit because if you enjoy playing it, then you'll have even more reason to go and play it. Because when you enjoy playing something and you play it, it'll bring you gratification, it'll release dopamine, serotonin, it'll make you feel happy. So it's a habit that rewards you for feeding into it, right? You also will be able to network with people, meet different people from different walks of life. But just saying you want to get ripped and go to the gym because you just want to get ripped and go to I'm not saying you can't do it, but I'm saying there's an easier way to make yourself like something and fall and make it a habit than just saying you want to do it because this is how you want to be, you know? Like it's easily understandable. Like for kids who used to get bullied in high school, like most of the times, like you see them like years later, they become super buff and super big. Why? Because they had in their mind that they don't want people to see them as a pushover. And it's not that that's a good or bad thing, but they have a drive behind the habit. I'm telling you to find yourself a drive behind the habits that you choose so that you can drive yourself. I'm not saying the habits that they have are good or bad, but they're still able to carry that task out, right? I'm not the person to be able to tell you whether your habit's good or bad, right? You live your own life, you make your own decisions. Needless to say, forming good habits for good reasons is a good way to keep a habit for a long time, okay? Um, Next, you want to surround yourself with the right amount, with the right people, and this also ties into forming good habits, right? When you form good habits, like you have a good breath, you brush your teeth every day, you go out, you exercise, you play your favorite sport, whether it's tennis, golfing, pickleball, whatever. Like you will tend to attract the same type of people who do the same type of habits that you do, right? Because we live in a community, we live in communion, we live in the same society. So there's like, yeah, there's millions of different things that other people could be doing. And there are the same people doing millions of different things. So maybe you play tennis and you meet someone else that plays tennis and they're also clean and they're also tidy just like you. But that person can also play tennis and dodgeball and you can play tennis and basketball, right? So there's an intermix of different things. That person could be a great person at chess, and that you could be a great person at boxing or video games or whatever, right? But that person is still of the same stature as you because they are able to keep up consistent habits, right? So you want to be able to keep consistent habits, because it will naturally attract to you people who are habitual and who are habitual in the good way, right? Just like how you can have people who have bad habits. People who have bad habits often lead you to other people who have bad habits, right? And then you guys all come together and do your bad habits all together, right? It's the same with drugs, smoking, drinking, all of that kind of stuff. It's a bad habit, and oftentimes misery loves company, right? So why can't it be the reverse? Why can't like joy love company or some shit like that? I don't fucking know. But what I'm trying to say is that you want to surround yourself with the right amount of people or the right type of people, and the opportunity always arises for you to choose who you surround yourself with. Which is why if you're by yourself, if you're living by yourself, living on your own, don't go and forcibly try and find people or find friends because you're just really flipping a coin. Build good habits, build strong habits, and have good reasons for the habits that you build, like good reasons, like things that like will help you in the future or help your life grow or something, right? And then eventually, as you live your life, good people will surround you, or you'll have the opportunity of meeting them, and you'll have the opportunity of furthering a relationship, pursuing a relationship, should you choose. But if you go out and seek for, I'm not saying if you go out and seek for like a group of friends, or if you go out and you seek for the right people, I'm not saying you won't find them, right? There are apps that are specifically built to help you find different people, like Bumble Friends and all that kind of stuff. But I'm saying life sometimes is works better when it's more natural, right? If something isn't natural, then it's not right. It's artificial, right? And it's easier to build relationships, rapport, and friendships off of just natural being a human, being who you are, and expressing how you feel, right? That's much easier than forcing stuff, right? So again, just to recap, right? You want to always look at yourself as if you're helping your future self with the actions that you do today. You want to make good routines, work on your routines, make build habits, build habits that, like I said, that last, that you enjoy, and that like really that will benefit you in the long run. And you also want to surround yourself with the right people, right? And that's how, when you're in when you're separated, that's how you can still be growing when you're separated without being isolated, because there are a lot of instances where people have tons of friends and, like, like big friend groups, but still can feel alone, feel like they're by themselves, right? Look at a lot of like artists, like rappers who, like, committed suicide, or who, like, passed, unfortunately. Not only rappers, but like musicians in general, right? Musicians are like fucking known for being like depressed and like chronic and anxious and like suicidal and all that stuff, even though they're surrounded by millions of fans, thousands of people, they still feel certain types of way, right? It's not about how much you make, it's not about how much you earn, it's not about what you bring in, it's about how you feel inside, and how you project that on the outside, right? That's why certain types of music project certain types of feelings, and the music that you listen to is very strong. And I have a video about that. You guys should check it out as well if that interests you. But needless to say, I already sold my piece. Like I said, I'm gonna get the other content out soon for you guys, so just stay tuned, keep up with that. I just want to make sure I made my daily videos. I know it was 3 days since I posted another last video. I posted one today, which this video will be uploaded tomorrow. So it'll been I posted one yesterday. If you're watching today, I posted one yesterday. I actually meant to post that video 2 days ago, and then I checked on my YouTube and I realized that, it hadn't finished uploading because I switched from one YouTube to account to another. So I was like, oh shit. Anyways, you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want to see. Like, commenting and subscribing really helps the algorithm. Show you more videos like this. If it's helpful to you, you know. But it was nice seeing you guys. Peace out.